Is your dog entering old age? The BARF diet can be a powerful ally to prolong life, maintain energy, and ensure comfort in the later years, but it needs to be adapted to the specific needs of this phase. All explained in a practical way, based on real nutrition and without myths. Your best friend deserves to age with health and quality of life, and you can provide that with the right choices. Watch until the end and find out how to turn food into a daily care for longevity. Subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and share this video with other owners who love their dogs. Let's together ensure more happy years for our best friends. In recent years, more and more owners have sought to offer a healthier and more personalized diet to their dogs. Among the most talked about options, the BARF diet, based on raw, natural, and biologically appropriate foods, has gained space mainly due to the promise of more energy, better immunity, and quality aging. But when it comes to senior dogs, the challenge isn't just nurturing, it's nurturing to preserve, protect, and prolong life in comfort. Unlike young dogs, which require high energy content for growth and intense physical activity, senior dogs require a delicate balance of high-quality protein, moderate fats, easily digestible carbohydrates, and micronutrients that support vital functions compromised by advancing age. This means that it is not enough to replicate a standard BARF diet. It is necessary to adapt it to the slower metabolism, lower muscle mass, and joints that are already showing signs of wear and tear. The starting point for this adaptation is to understand the impact of age on the canine organism. Over the years, the liver and kidneys may become less efficient at filtering metabolic waste, which requires moderation in the amount of protein, but without reducing it to the point of compromising muscle maintenance. The ideal sources in this case are lean and fresh meats, such as skinless chicken breast, turkey, and lean cuts of beef combined with selected innards, such as liver and heart, in portions adjusted to avoid overloading. Another important factor is fat. While young dogs can metabolize higher levels of animal fat, senior dogs can benefit from lighter, richer sources of essential fatty acids, such as omega-3s from fish, like sardines and salmon. Omega-3 not only helps control inflammation, but also helps lubricate joints and maintain cardiovascular health. Two critical points in canine longevity. And here comes a crucial difference between young and old dogs at BARF: the caloric density of the ingredients. The young dog needs more calories per pound of weight to sustain growth and physical activity. The elderly dog, on the other hand, generally more sedentary, requires less energy but more nutrient-dense foods, so that each serving offers maximum benefit with minimum caloric surplus. Vegetables and fruits play an important supporting role. While in a young dog's diet, it is common to include a greater variety of carbohydrates for quick energy, in a senior dog's diet, the focus is on fiber, antioxidants, and vitamins. Leafy greens like spinach and kale, vegetables like squash and carrots, and fruits like blueberries and apples, seedless, help strengthen the immune system and slow cellular aging. Antioxidants fight free radicals, unstable molecules that accelerate the wear and tear of cells and are associated with chronic diseases. Another detail little remembered is the texture of the food. Senior dogs may experience tooth wear, gum sensitivity, or even missing teeth. Therefore, very tough cuts of meat or large bones can be replaced by softer, fleshy bones, such as chicken neck or lamb ribs, always supervised, or even by quality ground beef, ensuring that the dog can feed comfortably. Hydration is also a critical point. Many senior dogs show a reduced sense of thirst, which increases the risk of dehydration and kidney problems. A simple way to combat this is to incorporate foods with higher water content into the BARF diet, such as lightly crushed fresh vegetables and juicy meats, as well as offering natural broths without salt and without seasonings. Finally, it is essential to understand that adaptation to BARF in senior dogs must be gradual. Sudden changes can cause gastrointestinal discomfort, especially in animals with slower digestion. The ideal transition takes 2 to 4 weeks, starting with small portions of BARF mixed with the previous feeding and increasing the proportion gradually, always observing the dog's feces, energy, and appetite. With the transition already underway, it's time to get into the practical part: how to calculate the correct proportions of each food group for a senior dog on the BARF diet, and what adjustments ensure nutrition is aligned with longevity. The first point is to define the basis of the diet. The traditional proportion of BARF for adult dogs is usually somewhere around 70% raw meat, offal, and fleshy bones, and 30% vegetables, fruits, and other supplements. For senior dogs, this base is being adjusted. High-quality protein remains the protagonist, but the bone content can be slightly reduced, and the variety of vegetables increased to provide more fiber, antioxidants, and phytonutrients. That's because an elderly dog's digestive system tends to work better with moderate fiber and more easily digestible proteins, avoiding kidney and liver overload. To establish the daily amount, 2 to 3% of the animal's ideal body weight is usually calculated. An elderly dog with a slower metabolism may benefit from 2%, while active dogs or dogs of naturally more energetic breeds may approach 2.5 or 3%. The key is observation. If the dog starts to gain weight, reduce the amount. If you lose weight or energy, increase it gradually. Within this total portion, fleshy bones should account for about 10 to 15%. They provide calcium, phosphorus, and stimulate chewing. But in senior dogs, it is necessary to choose softer bones, such as chicken wings and necks, lamb ribs, or rabbit carcasses. Very hard bones, such as a bovine femur, can fracture worn teeth. In some cases, grinding the bones is the best way to maintain the benefits without risk. Lean muscle meats take up around 50 to 60% of the diet. Here, variety is essential. Chicken, turkey, rabbit, lean beef, and occasionally fish such as sardines or salmon to reinforce the omega-3 intake. Interspersing proteins prevents deficiencies and helps keep the dog's taste buds interested, which is important when the natural appetite tends to decrease with age. The viscera, such as liver, heart, and kidneys, should make up 5 to 10% of the diet, always fresh and of good origin. They are concentrated sources of vitamins and minerals, but too much can cause nutritional imbalances. For example, excess vitamin A from the liver can overwhelm the body. In the vegetable group, which can represent 20 to 30% of the diet of an elderly dog, vegetables, legumes, and fruits are included. Crushing or light steaming helps with digestion and nutrient absorption. Kale and spinach offer iron and antioxidants. Pumpkin, fibers that regulate intestinal transit. Carrots, beta-carotene for eye health. Fruits, such as blueberries, strawberries, and apples, seedless, are allies in the fight against free radicals. In addition to the base structure, some natural supplements can enhance the health of elderly dogs in BARF. Fish oil or krill oil for cardiovascular and joint support. Turmeric with black pepper in safe doses for natural anti-inflammatory effect. Probiotics to strengthen the intestinal flora, helping with immunity and digestion. Glucosamine and chondroitin to maintain mobility and reduce discomfort in cases of arthritis. Monitoring is constant. Evaluating feces, skin, coat, energy, and disposition indicates whether the diet is balanced. An elderly dog that is well adapted to BARF tends to have a shiny coat, fresher breath, greater vitality, and faster muscle recovery after walks. Finally, it is essential to maintain veterinary follow-up, especially with periodic blood tests, to ensure that the liver, kidneys, and vitamin and mineral levels are within optimal parameters. Diet can, and should, be adjusted over time as age advances and new needs arise. When we talk about senior dogs, the BARF diet is not just a menu. It is part of a care plan that needs to consider the most common conditions of this stage of life. Among them, 3 stand out for their frequency and impact on quality of life: arthritis, early renal failure, and loss of muscle mass. Each one requires specific adaptations so that BARF is not only safe, but also therapeutic. Arthritis and joint wear advancing age naturally leads to wear and tear on the joints, making simple movements, such as climbing stairs or getting up after rest, slower and sometimes painful. At BARF, the first strategy to help dogs with arthritis is to include natural sources of collagen and chondroitin. Chicken legs and necks, when appropriate to the size of the animal and always supervised, release natural gelatin that nourishes cartilage. Bone broth, made by slow-cooking meaty bones and safe vegetables, can be used as a supplement, providing essential minerals and amino acids without overloading digestion. Regular inclusion of omega-3 rich fish, such as sardines or mackerel, helps reduce joint inflammation. Early-stage kidney failure elderly dogs may show a decline in kidney function even before overt symptoms appear. In this case, adaptation in BARF should focus on high-quality proteins, but in adjusted amounts to avoid excess nitrogen residues. Lean and fresh meats, in calculated portions, are preferable to fatty or industrialized cuts. Vegetables come in as allies, helping to maintain hydration and providing antioxidants that protect the kidneys against oxidative stress. The constant supply of fresh water and the inclusion of foods with high moisture content, such as cucumber and zucchini, help to relieve the kidney load. Sodium must be controlled and industrial spices completely eliminated. Loss of muscle mass. With aging, the dog's body tends to lose lean mass, which reduces strength, mobility, and the ability to maintain body temperature. To combat this, the BARF diet must ensure a sufficient and balanced protein intake with light and regular exercise. Cuts such as chicken breast, lean pork loin, and quality beef provide essential amino acids to regenerate muscle fibers. Creatine, naturally present in fresh meats, also helps maintain muscle strength. The inclusion of raw eggs of good origin, with the white lightly beaten for digestibility, is a simple way to add highly bioavailable protein and beneficial fats. Attention to digestion and nutrient absorption. The digestive system of senior dogs can become more sensitive, with less production of enzymes and gastric acid. To facilitate digestion, meats can be cut into smaller pieces or lightly crushed. Vegetables, preferably, should be pured or lightly steamed to release nutrients. Probiotics help keep the gut flora balanced by improving the absorption of vitamins and minerals. The role of the owner in the follow-up, adapting BARF for senior dogs, is not a fixed process. It is an ongoing cycle of observation and adjustment. Keeping a food diary with records of weight, energy, behavior, and veterinary test results makes it easier to identify necessary changes. Small signs, such as a change in the brightness of the coat, variations in stool, or change in appetite, should be taken seriously. The ultimate goal, more than prolonging life, the diet should offer quality on each additional day. Senior dogs that receive a BARF diet adapted to their conditions tend to maintain curiosity, willingness for walks, and an effective connection with family for longer. The right nutrition associated with veterinary care and daily affection transforms a dog's old age into a comfortable, active, and dignified chapter.